Alright, I gotta mute myself here. Unmute, I should say. Been up for a while, so I'll probably misspeak, say something ridiculous at some point, but nice to see you in here, Sam. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to run a little Train Sim World 6. In an MBTA train, but we're in California, and that's fine with me. So the first thing I want to talk about is when you set up Train Sim World 6, because I think a lot of people haven't done it yet. You gotta be in the engine, you gotta be seated at the stand, and then what we're gonna do is we need our API key. We don't need Copilot, we just need the API key. We're going to SimHogger link. Since we're using Train Sim World 6, option 4, the COM port for the SimHogger key, and you should have heard the horn blow, so that's a good sign, right? So we're going to calibrate the throttle, and when you're calibrating the throttle, you want to make sure your reverser's in. Ours is forward because this locomotive shuts down if it's in centered, but I do have our gen field down. You can see the throttle's going through its paces here. Once it gets to 8, I'm going to jump back here. SimHogger link, we're not going to calibrate the dynamic brakes on this. So now everything is pretty much ready to go. I'll move the brakes. You can see they clicked into position. We'll release that. Go up here, gen field. Flip that on. Now we'll go for a little ride, I guess. I don't have the station stops marked on here. This is just kind of a saved run I have, so I'll try to watch these stations when they're coming up and actually stop for them, but geez, it's been a while that I've been working on it. You know, it kind of is a long story of how I got to this point. I originally was just designing 3D printed brake valves for training purposes and things like that. And then I had a lot of interest in people wanting them working with their simulators. And that was probably another good year of developing everything, the back end and the firmware and how I was going to do everything and researching. So I'd say this whole project, I mean, we're probably 3 years into it now. No, the headlights are on, actually. the first version of SimHogger? Well, if you look on Facebook way back, I have some pictures of basically when I had it very, very rough cut in a plywood box. And it's starting to rain, so I'm going to turn on our wipers. I mean, there's been a number of, you know, iterations and versions that have been developed. Not a little hot, but that's fine. I'm actually using the SimHogger to do the windshield wipers. There's not a button or a switch for it, but the SimHogger excuse me, control module is able to send those commands, so I don't have to look for keyboard commands for that. If anyone has questions, feel free to type them in the chat. You know, that's really the main purpose of this, is to answer questions. I'm not a very good streamer. I might crack a few jokes, we'll see, but for the most part, if you have a question, ask it. Yeah, all the software is custom made. The firmware and the software, the script, and that's actually going to get revamped eventually, because right now it's basically just a simple script, as you can see. I want it to be more of a GUI based, well, there isn't a whole lot to see on it right now because it's just running. So this is just basically parsing all the data to train SimWorld. You know, depending on what simulation software you're using, it's pretty simple to just select what you want to have it talk to, what sim you're playing. You know, I would say the modern stand is probably the most realistic. I mean, but in reality, that's what I spend the most time operating, you know, in my other life. I really don't have any experience with Railroader yet. I'm working on an API to get it working with Railroader. And I'm working with the developers for that, so there'll be more to come with that. Let's see, will my doors open? Oh yeah, there we go. You know, the desktop, I tried to get everything as close to the real thing as possible. There's obviously going to be little differences. I mean, there's differences, you know, in how the railroads order it. So there's no really like perfect stand setup, in my opinion. That's exactly like the real thing. Just had to get it as close as possible. Oh yeah, for sure it does, Christian. Wow, is this thing slipping? Nope, it's just a one-stage horn button. At some point, I might explore that. To be honest, you know, really only passenger railroads have that two-stage button. I don't even know if all of them do, to be honest, but it's something that I could look into doing, you know, for the games that actually do support it. Like, this particular cab doesn't support really like a two-step. It has the horn sequence, which no one ever uses. I don't know, I suppose someone out there does, but I never use it, at least. There we go. That's a little better view. The steam engine controller. Yes. There's a couple things, well, more than a couple. There's a few things with the steam engine controller that are going to be challenging. And in my opinion, they're a necessity, such as like the quillable whistle. Like for me, that's a no-brainer. You have to be able to have a quillable whistle for a steam engine. That being said, the electronics behind that, trying to get the right ones, are going to be somewhat of a challenge, but I think I can get it done and get the steam controller done, hopefully. I'm going to be having an announcement coming up in hopefully the next week or so about our next public appearance, and hopefully at that will be where we can show it off. That's the goal, at least. Whether or not I get it done, I do not know. See if I can fight this. Wheel slip this time. Come on. Holy, this engine loads slow. I mean, my goodness, this thing loads slow. Just like the old days, that's right. I'm sure there'll be some trolls that somehow pick up on this and correct me in the error in all my ways of running a locomotive. Oh, yes. Yes, in fact, on one of my old videos, I just had another person tell me that bailing the independent after you release it does nothing. Yes, yes, we are all well aware that bailing the independent really does nothing, but I enjoy it, so I do it. And that's the way I've done it for quite some time. So holy, come on. What is going on here? For some reason, I'm only getting notch 6. Standby 1. This is always good when this happens, but this thing's kind of like a mile railroad, you know? When you have people over, everything goes to heck. All right. I'm still battling it. Hang on. I just pushed a beta firmware to this thing, and I should have known better than to attempt the stream with that firmware. Try again here. Yep. At least it's almost done, right? We're gonna start rolling backwards here on this grade if we don't get some throttle. Okay. Yeah, for some reason it's not wanting to go into notch 8. Don't know what that is about. Yeah, no problem. Well, I guess we're conserving fuel. We're just going to rock a notch 7 here for a little bit. All right, one more reset, and I think I'm going to have it. No, jeez. We're just drifting through crossings here. I can't even blow the horn because it's doing the calibration. Oh well. All right. Yeah, I must have messed something up with this firmware, which is really irritating. But I need to turn off those windshield wipers before they burn into the old I guess I found problem number 2. Where are the windshield wipers on this bad boy? There we go. There we go. Pop that baby into 8 that way. It's not going to behave the right way, we'll cheat. I can write a link here where you can find more information on how to order it. Yeah, I will ship overseas. I've shipped a number of them to Europe. I have one going to Africa, actually, a couple to Asia. So I will ship outside of North America. You just have to cover the duty and the shipping costs, obviously. So how I usually go about that is get your order, build it like I normally would, and then once it's done, reach out and get basically the balance from you. Nope, that was a late horn. Oh well. Oh boy, he went around the gates. Look at that. Yeah, it's almost like the encoder's drifting with this firmware or something. Which should be an easy fix because I know what's doing it, but I don't know. While we're climbing out of the valley, I think, in LA. I've never been there on this line, so now that might have spilled the coffee, but that's fine. Well, I think I'm going to switch us over to Train Sim Classic. And I'll do a little demonstration of that because that has not really been on video yet. Well, I guess I made video the other day. Might as well reset this one more time, see if I can fix that problem. All right. Let's do that one. You know, I've thought about doing European stands. I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of up in the air. I've thought about doing Australian. I know that. And even the doors are closed. All right. So, oh shoot. I gotta reset that one more time because I had the independent set. And no, you don't have to do that every time to reset it. There's a button in the front, but my button is currently unplugged because I was doing some tests. So now we will go back into SimHogger link. And this time we're going to select Train Simulator Classic. And that didn't bite that time for some reason. Train Simulator Classic's a little trickier to get going. I mean, besides you don't have to calibrate or anything like that. And I totally picked the wrong one that time. 6, 1. There we go. So now we should have evidently we're just running a red marker light too. That seems like a typical bug that I found in Transom Classic, but helps if I release the independent too. That's a newbie move there. The trolls are gonna be all over that. Just tearing out of the station with the independent fully set. It'd be funny if my wheels were smoking, but they're not. Another uphill subdivision. Man, we're boogieing now, 75. Oh. Sorry, I got a text message that cracked me up. All right, Gio, we're going to go down now. You think 1% down, we get a little more roll here, but I was anticipating a little more. I've actually never ran this, so it's kind of a learning experience. If you're just tuning in, we're doing the Pacific Surfliner on Train Sim Classic using the SimHogger desktop controller, which currently has some firmware that I shouldn't have on it, so it's acting a little goofy, but otherwise, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm here to answer them. Oh yeah, you can see the gauge lights good, can't you? All right. I will say in my limited amount of playing Train Sim Classic, I don't know if I'm really a fan of the braking logic of it when it comes to the air. Like that. Used to playing Train Sim World. We are just gonna highball right through there, because I was never gonna get it stopped. Go from Train Sim World to that, and it's like unbelievable the difference in how they brake. Oh yeah, that's a big point deduction. Who's keeping score though, right? Approach. That's neat. Every time those dynamic brakes spool up, I think they're surging, because I just from I guess I'm used to the sound. It sounds like they're surging because they just go ramming in, even though the effort really doesn't show them getting ramped up. Thanks, Al. Well, here we sit, waiting for our meat. Any questions from anybody but J Jets? Any questions? Oh, that makes a lot. Oh, there we go. Quick timeout on that signal. It was green on the other main and then dropped red and we got the green instantly. I like that. Who needs timeouts? Come on, Notch 8. Still having the same issue. Can't get it to bite. Ooh, that I did not like that. There we go. Somehow went into dinos. Never done that with this game. We'll see what happens. Maybe it'll be stuck in Notch 8 now. I don't know. Does anyone know? Here's a question for people watching. There's only 5 of you now, but I'm looking for like a DLC that's Midwest. It seems like all the DLCs are right. California, the Northeast, the Southeast. It'd be nice if there was a Midwest DLC, but there probably isn't. Coming in hot again. Yeah, PTC would have got us on that one, but at least it's not desert, right? Oh, that's a pretty view. I feel like I've seen that before. Oh yeah, that looks a lot nicer than where I'm sitting right now. Al, that's kind of like where you're sitting though, isn't it? You're still watching? Oh my goodness, this thing speeds up fast. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, where you're at looks more like this than where I'm at right now. I'll tell you that much. That's right, Gio. Don't forget that when you're out walking. It's also always 75 and sunny in the dispatching office. Enjoy it though. That's what retirement's all about. That's right. That's right. No sidewall chefs in the dispatching office. It's been a long time since I've cooked something on a sidewall. We have microwaves at least, so. Alright, let's get a move on here. Once again, we're not going to 8. Interesting. It's like the throttle. I don't. Someone has to speak up that has a an alternative desktop controller. We'll call it. Does the throttle move? If you've ever played this DLC, it's kind of weird. It reacts to the changes I give it, you know, and just doesn't look the part, I guess. sure you didn't use the caboose to warm up your food? The oil stove? Well, I didn't tell you to go into breaking here. Oh boy. Oh. Geo's spinning up like the greatest hits of trolling. SimHogger here. Yeah. He's my normal conductor a lot of the times. So he gets to hear the gripes. That's true. That's true. Just chugging. We're just chewing up the hill here. I only got 13 miles to go to Oceanside, Maine 2. I guess maybe we'll stop there. There you go. Gotta do the run by at least once. I also kind of get a kick of the gauges in here, you know. Let's see. So currently our brake pipe's at 0. Our brake cylinder's at 72. Equalizing is at 25. And our main reservoir is right at 160. It's pretty cool. Oh boy, and we are speeding. Gosh, I don't know if I'm going to make it. This firmware is still just slipping even worse here. Oh. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset this thing one more time on the fly. That'll buy us a little bit here. All right. Shoot ski, that didn't fix it. You're just tuning in Train Sim Classic, SimHogger desktop with some buggy firmware that's in beta phase, so I can't get it to go into notch 8. But that's why we test stuff. Well, in 2.1 miles, we're going to be calling her a day. So if there's any last minute questions or anything like that, now's the time to ask them. Ooh, I like that 40 hidden in there. Didn't see that at first. Gun shy now after blowing that station. Look at that, they're digging over there. That's pretty cool. Ain't that neat? We'll pretend that's our relief right there. Look at that. Front door service. Ah, this firmware. All right. Well, anyway, thanks everyone for watching. If you liked us, give it a share, give it a like, follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube. Hopefully be doing some more of these in the future, near future. I'm off the next few days. Maybe I'll do a few more with working firmware this time. But appreciate you guys watching. So hope you have a great day, and stay warm or stay cool if you're lucky enough to be in a warm climate.